Internet children, my name is Taylor and today I'm here with Siobhan, Vivian.
Hello.
Thank you so much
My
for being
pleasure.
here. The question I have for you is, what is the plot of the last boy and girl?
Last Boy and Girl in the World is about a girl named Keely who is about to lose everything. Her town suffers a flood and the government decides it's not safe for anyone to live there, so everyone must go. Everyone in the town is packing up, taking off, and she decides she has one last chance to pursue the boy she's always loved.
Aww.
Kind of compare it to a senior year on steroids with
Yeah.
like a goodbye for everyone.
What did you want to be when you were younger?
I wish that YouTube was around when I was younger
Oh.
because I would have totally been putting up videos. I was an entertainer. Loved to make people laugh and tell jokes, class clown, and I always thought that I wanted to be a talk show host. So it would have been perfect for me.
for
Yeah.
you.
Honestly, like what I used to do is sit around with a tape recorder and just like make up my own interviews and just do different voices of characters. I wish I still had these tapes
That's
because I would
amazing.
die laughing.
Yeah, I would die to listen to them. How did you develop your passion for writing?
That's a good question. No, the truth of it is, I was a terrible high school student. Kind of high school student that failed gym. I was always thought of as smart, but I just didn't find like the thing that I loved. I just started having this really apathetic view of high school where I just didn't care. Everything changed for me when I took a creative writing elective. It was junior year, and it was taught by the head of our English department, and it was like one of the first times I was getting praised for what I was doing, and also one of the few classes where the assignments didn't feel like work at all. It was like a joy to sit down and like write whatever, you know, Mr. Hurley would tell us to write. I remember having this like feeling of like, this is the one thing I'm good at, this is what I want to do, and I was very lucky. Mr. Hurley wrote me the most amazing recommendation letter for college that basically said, don't worry, ignore the fact that her grades are terrible and her SATs were like mediocre. Like, she has talent, and I got into a writing program,
That's
and that was the
amazing.
stard of everything for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Which characters are your favorite to write and why, or like which type of character?
I love to write girls like Keely. In The Last Boy and Girl in the World, the main character is Keely, and she is very much like me, the younger version of me, bold and kind of funny and willing to put herself out there and sort of like, you know, no boundaries, no inhibitions. And so, of course, when her town is sinking, she's going to go after the boy she's always loved. It makes total sense. It's fun to write characters like that because they really will do and say anything to kind of keep the boy interested and keep them talking to her.
Stay with me, stay
yeah,
with me, stay with me.
exactly. So she was really fun to write. And I also really like writing the boys because I just cherry pick from the boys that I loved in high school and sort of mush them into like what I imagine is the perfect guy.
Is it fun developing like the perfect guy?
It is. I mean, and it's always like the perfect guy for whoever the girl is. So
Right.
that's why it's like never the same. I just imagine like, oh, I remember when I fell in love with this boy because I was at this place in my life and this is what I wanted from.
He has good hair.
Yeah.
So.
Or all I cared about then was he was funny, or all I cared about then was that he was smart and good and nice because I had my heart broken before. I love to kind of match up the perfect boy for the main character.
That's really an interesting concept.
Yeah,
I
right?
love that. To the viewers out there
Yeah.
who want to get published,
Yes.
how did your big break in the writing world like come about?
I was working as an editor on different teen girl fiction, what I like to call rich girl lit. I was working on other people's stories during the day and then writing my own at night. And I think that was a great education for me. And I think it's also one that can be duplicated for anyone. Making somebody else's story sing will reflect back on your work. You'll learn lessons from sort of picking apart and changing things and suggesting fixes for your friend's story.
Right.
And then you learn about your own work
Right.
through doing that. So
Yeah.
that was a huge like influence on me, a leap forward in terms of bringing my writing up to a professional level. My big break came in my graduate program. I started a story and an editor read it as part of an assignment we had to do, and she liked it and said that she was interested in publishing it after graduation. And that was the first book I sold. One step that I feel like is a very important step, and it's not one people talk a lot about, is thinking about the way you want to pitch your book to an editor, to an agent. The way to do that is coming up with a short one-line pitch. Practicing the art of taking your massive story and reducing it down to its like most essential is always a really nice lesson in like the sale of your book, how your book might be positioned, what kind of book is it? Are you more Rainbow Rowell? Are you more Sarah Dessen? Are you more Veronica Roth? You know, who are you? Where does this book fall on the spectrum? And for me, it's the one sentence pitch that really communicates that.
So what was your one sentence pitch
for
your latest book?
For my latest book, it's girl says goodbye to her sinking hometown and hello to the boy she's always loved.
That's so cute!
Hopefully it gets people excited to read more.
Must read.
Yeah.
How long is the process from initial concept to publication? Or like, at least how long has it been for you?
I think it averages for me about 1.5 years. Like I finished the final pages, reviewing the final pages of Last Boy and Girl in the World around December, and I'd worked on them for about 1 year, and then it takes about 6 months then for the book to actually come out.
Right.
So typically 1.5 years, sometimes a little bit more.
Where did the idea for the first book you ever wrote stem from? Because I know you were writing it for a class, but where did the idea come from?
Straight from a girl who I was very good friends with in high school, and she had a boyfriend. This is a very classic story. She had a boyfriend in high school who was terrible, and they would make up and break up almost like every week, and it was always like drama and fighting, and she would cry and be so sad when things weren't going well, and she'd be so euphoric when things were going well. And it got to a point where a couple friends of mine, you know, we were like maybe a group of 4 or 5 girls, and one of the girls in our group said to her, like, look, if you take him back, like, don't come crying to me when he breaks your heart again. Like, I've had it. And I remember that moment feeling like so weird to me. Like, I understood why our friend was frustrated with her, but also as a friend, you know, shouldn't you just be there to support your friend? She's going to have to learn her lesson when she's ready to learn her lesson. So I was thinking a lot about the dynamics of that, and that's what the book sort of is about.
What was it like to work with Jenny Han on your book?
Jenny's a dream. She's my best friend. She's the godmother to my daughter, my first daughter. We are, you know, so close, you know. We have a really, really tight friendship, and I love her writing, and she's read every single book of mine and given me notes before I've shown anyone else. So, and vice versa. So, our friendship is really deep, and to work with her was just, it just seemed like a natural extension of what we were already doing as friends who happen to be writers.
How did that writing process actually work?
We did a lot of outlining ahead of time. Our series is called Burn for Burn, and it's pretty, you know, there's like a cliffhanger, there's a lot of secrets and sort of plot twists and surprises, so we felt like we really wanted to outline what that book was going to be so we could taste those things out and, you know, not paint ourselves into any corners by accident.
Right.
You know, we have to know what we're doing before we can really do it well. So we outlined like crazy. And then we just kind of picked the scenes that we each wanted to write. Jenny tends to like to write the more sort of emotional scenes between characters. I like action, and I like, you know, funny, fast-paced stuff. And so we kind of broke it apart that way. And then we would write a draft, send it to each other, and then she would kind of write over my writing and I would write over hers.
Do you have any new works in progress?
Yes, I'm working on a brand new book. It's supposed to come out spring 17 if I can get my butt in gear and get the draft finished. But I love it. It's about an ice cream parlor and a girl who works there for a boy who's not necessarily the best boss. And she would be a much better boss if somebody put her in charge. So yeah, it'll be coming out spring 17, and we're just starting to talk about cover design now, which is really fun.
Where did that inspiration come from?
I was doing a library visit in Ohio, and afterward I was hungry, and I asked the librarian sort of like what was close to the library, and she said, oh, there's this amazing ice cream place just down the road. It's famous for its hot fudge. So of course I'm going there, right? So I drove there and I went up and I placed my order. And it seemed like it was only girls working there. And I noticed that they all had these weird t-shirts on that said Hot Fudge Hotties on them. And I was just like, that's the weirdest t-shirt, you know, and it was sort of like an old-fashioned place. So it kind of felt out of place. Right. So I asked the girl who was helping me, like, what's the deal with the t-shirts? And then she kind of pointed back into the stand and clearly annoyed at this boy who looked like a young Donald Trump, had his feet up on the desk and kind of yapping on the phone and just looking like, you know, king of his castle. And I thought, oh, okay, that was probably his idea. Yeah. He's not wearing that kind of shirt, you know, and I just sat there and ate my ice cream that afternoon and started thinking about this story.
So exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited, but it's one of the more fun books that I've ever written.
Yeah. So my last question for you is, do you have anything to say to the viewers?
Well, thank you for having me, viewers. Thanks for sticking with our interview this long, and I hope you enjoy The Last Boy and Girl in the World.
Thank you so much for being
here. Thank you, Taylor. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye!
Bye!
Hi, hello, Internet children. My name is Taylor, and today I'm doing a Lit Joy Crate unboxing for you guys. Past Taylor actually unboxed this box, but I didn't film an intro for this video. I'm so excited to unbox that I completely forgot to do an intro. Today I am unboxing a Lit Joy Crate box for you guys. Lit Joy Crate is a new bookish subscription service. Each month they send you a box with a new release in it, and I think it's